365 Radio. This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 5:55, presented by Champion Salon and Barber. To book your appointment, go to championsalonandbarber.com.
Top 5 hires of the coaching cycle. I know this is kind of a simple list, and this maybe there's somebody that gets hired. Maybe Tony Elliott at Virginia is the next thing, and I think that's a good hire if that's what they do. In fact, do, and it looks like what they're doing. By the way, before we get to that, Dan Radakovich is how you say his name. Dan Radakovich is about to be officially on his way to Miami.
Well, I mean, it's about time. I mean, it's basically been a done deal, it seems like, for a couple days now at this point. I mean, and even the rumors were going back to, late last week?
Yeah, you know why I know it was never I knew it was going to happen? No one ever said it wasn't. Like the minute, like usually when something like that happens, like sometimes even if it does or doesn't eventually happen or whatever happens, somebody usually says like, oh, no, there's no truth to that. Nobody ever said anything. Clemson's probably going to elevate to the deputy AD underneath them and keep on rolling. All right, but top 5 hires of the coaching cycle, and I will state problems with almost every single one of these as well. Number 5, Mario Cristobal at Miami. Look, this is the best hire Miami could have made. But there are so many things in front of Mario Cristobal. Yeah, they're saying they're going to spend all this money and all that blah, 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 blah. Texas has been spending money like a coked-up rock star for 15 years, and has it worked out for them the way they want?
I don't know. I was at the Rolling Stones concert, and Mick Jagger still seems like he's pretty good.
But again, they've just been throwing money like Michael Jackson in that shore in Vegas, and what came out of it?
And now that's what they're doing, and they're not the only ones with the NIL, with this new $3 million, $2 million, $50,000. They always got talent, but yeah, you're right, no question.
Yeah, I'm not sold that he's like the greatest head coach in the world. I think he's a very good head coach, though. Did an admirable job at Oregon, and Miami's more his fastball and more his way of life. So, it kind of was Manny Diaz's too, though. And remember Manny Diaz having the big tricked out boat and just doing all the U stuff and just ramping the U up to like 10 when he first arrived, and that fizzled out very quickly. But yeah, Mario Cristobal seems a good fit. Culturally, athletically, leadership-wise, and I think he'll do a good job down there. He understands, being a part of the U. I think that maybe like maybe what people think of as a head coach is a little overrated based on what I've seen, but I'm not saying he's a bad coach by any means. He's a good coach. I just don't think he's like Nick Saban is what I'm trying to say. But, yeah, good hire for Miami.
And name another coach, a great coach. This Nick Saban.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Okay, Urban Meyer. Yeah, okay. There's not many.
Number 4, Brian Kelly at LSU. I know that he's, less than genuine most of the time.
What are you talking about, Paul? I'm from the South.
I'm more Southern than gravy on a boar hog. Yeah, that's the saying, right?
Yeah.
But no, he is going to bring something that they have not had there, which is a guy who's consistent in what he does. Les Miles won a national title, but he did it because he had a lot of talent, and it kind of worked out for him, throwing stuff against the wall. Ed Orgeron, the talent rode into that thing, and the intersection of Joe Burrow and the other guys was so perfect you can't even imagine. But he was not consistent with the staff, with the recruit. It was all with his personal life and all how that let that go in.
Are you saying he wasn't a CEO type?
No, he was.
Think about it. Orgeron's gone, and so is Joe Brady in the NFL.
Yeah,
that didn't take long.
Yeah. By the way, I think Joe Brady's going to take the Miami OC job.
Good.
By the way, which I think is kind of a home run for Mario Cristobal.
I mean, Brian Kelly, great hire for LSU. I mean, given the circumstances, it looked like their big splash was going to be Lincoln Riley. Obviously, that was a total just sideshow that really had no substance to it. But for them to kind of surprise and shock the world and not get Lincoln Riley, but still nail the big fish that we know that Scott Woodward loves to do, I thought that, you can't really complain about Brian Kelly. You can complain about his accent or something, but he's a damn good football coach.
No, and he's going to run. I mean, he's going to run it. There's going to be a top-down hierarchy, which will run effectively.
It's going to be a lot more professional than it was. All due respect, but I did see where Corey Raymond is leaving LSU to go join Billy Napier's staff at Florida, big time, D lineman back in the day, and also D line coach. So Corey Raymond apparently headed to Florida and joining Billy Napier.
All right, number 3, Kailyn DeBoer at Washington has done a great job at every level he's been on. I love this hire. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be even better if he gets Jake Haener to follow him there, which Jake Haener, the quarterback at Fresno State, it's in the transfer portal, and he's not said, he said that Washington isn't the only place he's looking at, but you would think that would be a big deal for him. But this is what you should do, as opposed to just going, all right, what's out there that we can rehash or recycle or steal from someone else? How about you get a coach who's clearly won? This is what Iowa State did with Matt Campbell that has worked out better for them than I think they could have imagined. Even though they didn't get to the goal they wanted, they're still the best stretch in Iowa State history right now. Washington needs somebody who's a guy who knows how to win. I think Kailyn DeBoer is that guy.
Yeah, I don't know nearly enough about him as much as I do about like a Brian Kelly. I'm not going to front on that, but Fresno State's had some success. By the way, Fresno State bringing back Jeff Tedford to replace.
Yep, mentioned that earlier.
It's
good hire.
Pretty interesting. DeBoer, a guy I'm looking forward to learning about. I mean, I know Washington has been a struggle bus, and they were in the playoffs not that long ago. So you can win there, you can win big. Jimmy Lake was just an absolute mistake, and hopefully DeBoer's the guy to correct them and get them right. I mean, the Pac-12 now with USC, I know that they'll be the team that everybody loves on unconditionally, basically, and they'll be favorites and whatnot. You got to obviously consider Utah in the mix very firmly, but there's room for a Washington to bounce back quickly and get right back in the mix.
Billy Napier at Florida. This is an excellent hire. If you've watched these top fives, his name's in here all the time. I think he's an excellent coach. I think he's done an excellent job at Louisiana. I think he's a CEO, but he's also a great football mind, and I think that's going to translate for Florida. And they're also making a new commitment to facilities. They had done that before Billy Napier a little bit, but they had let themselves fall behind, which is surprising because, again, they also at a point were spending money like a coked-up rock star, but kind of stopped or slowed down, or just kind of like Miami, Florida State, and Florida, or in Florida all kind of assumed like, well, we're here in Florida. This is where the Florida kids want to go. Well, Georgia's not that far away, nor is Alabama, nor is LSU. And then you've got national programs coming in like Oklahoma going, well, how'd you like to come here and score 1 billion touchdowns?
How about Tyquan Thornton, Baylor wide receiver from Miami?
So you're going all over the place. And hey,
he's been good.
How'd you like to come and play with a guy who's going to be the first or second pick in the draft at Clemson? Yeah, people are going to go. So yeah, they got too fat and happy, and they're all paying for it now. So, but I think Billy Napier's a guy who's going to get them lean and mean as opposed to fat and happy.
Tyquan Thornton had 6 catches, 70, 80 yards, whatever, and a touchdown in that first half. He didn't catch a pass in the second half. You notice
most people didn't.
No, I know. But he has been fantastic this year for Baylor. Okay.
Yeah. And number one, it can't be anybody other than this. USC hit the absolute home run of all home runs with Lincoln Riley. I'm going to tell Mike Bone needs to put on a seminar of answering the questions that you've had simply. What's USC's biggest problem in football outside of facilities, which has nothing to do with the coach, really? Outside of all, attendance and all that other stuff. What's the biggest problem of why they're not winning on the field? It's because all the concentrated talent that lives 50 miles from their school is not going to their school anymore. So who's the guy who's the biggest pain in the ass for the colleges in that area of taking it out? Oh, it's Lincoln Riley? Let's go get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to kill it in recruiting. He'll soak up all that L.A. love, and he'll really take advantage of that, I'm sure. They need to burn that pep rally and just, like, erase that video from the internet. That was the most awkward video I've watched in a really long time. And Lincoln Riley even looked like he didn't know what was going on. But, I mean, as far as a fit and all of that, still incredible that USC pulled that off the way that they did, with Riley losing the championship game, all that LSU talk, and then boom, in the middle of the night, he's going to L.A. Just pretty crazy how that unfolded and then the domino effect that it had. But, yeah, I mean, he's Lincoln Riley. He's going to win big there. He'll probably win, 9-10 games a year for starters and probably make that sort of the standard, as far as putting them over the top and getting them into the playoff and winning the title. We'll see on that, but I would definitely expect USC to be a lot more in the playoff conversation. And if they're not, then that would be shocking to me. That would be absolutely shocking if he doesn't get them into the position where they hired him to get them. So, yeah, big-time hire. And I can't wait for Oklahoma fans to flood your mentions, Paul, with Brent Venables not making the top 5. But you've only got 5.
Well,
so.
I mean, he probably would have been 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you. If you've watched the show, you know I like the hire. I just don't think that it registers on the level of some of these other ones.
Yeah. All right. Thanks to Armstrong Sims. Thanks to Jack McKenzie. Tomorrow, Sonny Dykes will join us of TCU. Among others, Mac Rhodes joins us tomorrow at 3:30. Baylor Director of Athletics coming off the Big 12 meeting.